What's up, fam? I go by the name of Blessons. I'm a producer and mixing engineer out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and today I want to share 3 gain staging tips/hacks that every producer and audio engineer can use. Let's get into it.
Blessons did it.
Now, there's nothing fancy about gain staging, right? However, after countless trial and error, not being consistent on mixes, and really trying to implement a process that I can always count on, here are my 3 tips that will drastically help your mixes if you're not already implementing them. Number 1. For my producers, properly gain staging your track out before you mix them yourself or send them out to a mixing engineer. So as you can tell, this is not Pro Tools, this is Ableton, right? This is a beat I'm getting ready to track out and mix in Pro Tools to upload to my beat store, so I figured it was a great example. Even though I'm showing you this process in live, it can be applied in any DAW. So step 1, what we're going to do is save as. We want to be sure that you do this in a whole new session separate from your creation session. This way you never lose your current reference point. So we're just gonna go right here, File, Save As. And you just name it whatever you name it, track out _2, right? Step 2, zero out everything. I'm gonna select every track here in my drum group, for example, by holding down the Shift key. Then I'm gonna click in one of these volume boxes and press the Delete key. This will ensure that all tracks are zeroed out. Step 3, we're gonna insert an MV-M2 plugin in the track you're currently working on. Now this is a free plugin by TB Pro Audio. You can Google it and it will pop right up for you and download. We'll click right here on this 808. I already have one right here. Just turn it on. Perfect. All right, step 4. While soloed out, so as you can tell, we have the 808 soloed out and having the MV-M2 pulled up, right? We're gonna play the track at the loudest part of the beat and tap the crosshairs on the plugin, which is right here, right? Ensuring we have the meter calibrated at -18 dBVU. So how can you ensure that? Right here, if you click, go up or down, this is calibrating it, right? What we want to do is calibrate it at -18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this 808 here, and while it's playing, I'm going to basically hit this crosshair. So you'll see it'll be in the red right from the jump, and then I hit the crosshairs, it'll go to 0, right? So let's do it. The main reason we're doing this here is to calibrate to give it 1 headroom, and also it'll be a nice healthy level going into your first plugin that you're using on your mixing chain. So you basically just repeat the process, and after that, that will ensure when you export the track, it'll be properly gain staged and ready for the mixing process. Now this brings us to number 2, gain staging our kick in 808, right? Let's jump into Pro Tools so I can show you how to apply the -3 dBVU kick trick. Now this is how I start all my mixes. Depending on what element is going to be the driving force or more dominant in the mix, either the kick or 808, you want that element to hit -3 in the VU meter, with the VU meter being calibrated at -18 dBVU. Now why -18 dBVU? -18 dBVU is considered as the critical point or sweet spot for analog audio gear, right? Without getting too far on the dBVU and dBFS, which is dB full scale discussion, just know when you see anything calibrated in VU, think of it as calibrating with headroom. Now I'm going to demonstrate what this process would look like with the track I'm getting ready to mix. With the VU meter calibrated already, as you can see here, -18, right? I'm going to bring the kick in till it's hitting -3 consistently. And then I'm going to bring the 808 in to reach the 0 point. Let's do it. Now from here, I'd build the rest of my static mix around this point of reference. This ensures I have proper headroom going into the mix bus, which brings us to number 3, gain staging into the mix bus. Now you might think, well, if I'm gain staging my kick in 808, then this should be automatic for me, right? You would think. However, keep in mind that the kick and 808 trick that I just showed you are starting points so that you start your mix with a proper headroom. As you start mixing, you may decide to push something a little more, or possibly adding some parallel compression, and it adds a little level, right? With that being said, once you get your mix at a good point, starting to feel pretty good, you're going to want to be mindful of the level going into the mix bus. Now one might think, why don't I just pull that one element that's being too loud down? And I get it. I used to think the same thing, but doing this is going to change the sound and balance of your mix. We're going to do something quite simple. That's going to, 1, keep the same balance in our mix, and 2, keep the same sound of our mix, right? A very simple process. Now I have this cheap, but one of the most beneficial plugins for this on my mix bus. This Hornet VU meter. I think I paid like $5 for this plugin, but one of the best plugins in my opinion. Now if you look at my mix bus, right here, right? This is the start of my mix bus. It looks like I have VUs on top of VUs on it. But I'll explain why for you real quick. See, I utilize analog summing, and I like to push my levels a little harder into that gear. When I bring the signal back in my DAW, or Pro Tools in this case, I like for it to come back hitting -15 dB VU. So this first VU meter right here is a gauge for me to quickly see the level coming back in from my AD converter, or analog to digital converter. Now the second plugin is the Hornet VU I was telling you about. Let's go back over here, click it right there. The cool thing is with this auto button right here, it automatically recalibrates the signal for me to -18, right here, dB VU. In which this is the level I want going into my mix bus plugins. This allows me to hit my analog chain as hard as I want. However, when the signal comes back in, it'll be recalibrated for me, okay? Now, what if you don't have this plugin? All you would do if you don't have this plugin, this is calibrated at 18 as you see, you would just pull whatever's going into that mix bus down. If you notice, my signal is coming back into the aux right here, right? I'm gonna show you in a minute. Then I have that bus into another aux, which is right here, master sub, which starts my mix bus chain. So I can easily just pull this level right here down, and it will pull the level down feeding into the mix bus. To illustrate the process, I'll start the mix and bring my level down that's feeding into this mix bus. We want it to get to -18 dB VU, which we'll show right here. Okay, so let's do it.
Did it.
You see? So what we're gonna want to do is pull this down. And if it goes over a little bit, it's fine. Just for the main purpose, I mean, we want it to where it's hitting most consistent. All right. So like I said, if it's hitting a little over, it's totally fine. It doesn't have to be exact, right? But this is just a way for you to quickly see what level is going into your mix bus. All right, and just to illustrate, in case you're interested in getting this plugin that I'm talking about, this Hornet, all I would do is this. Come here and let it play and press auto. And there you go, it automatically calibrates for us, right? Now, if you take any of these 3 tips and implement them in your process, I guarantee the results you're looking to achieve will happen faster and your mixes will improve drastically. Now do me a favor and leave me a comment and let me know if you are currently using any of these 3 techniques. If this video has helped you out in any way, like this video and share it with someone that you think could benefit from any of these tips. Again, I go by the name of Blessons, and remember to always, always, always trust your ears. I'm out.
Blessings did it.